Think all pennies are just pocket change? Think again. Some rare Lincoln and wheat pennies are worth thousands, or even over $1 million, because of simple mint errors or unique features you'd never notice at first glance. In this video, we're revealing the most valuable Lincoln and wheat pennies ever found and what makes them worth a fortune. What if the penny in your pocket was secretly worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and you didn't even know it yet? Because today, we are diving into the astonishing story of the 1978 D1-cent coin from the United States that has stunned the numismatic world by reaching an unbelievable face value of $733 million due to a series of ultra-rare minting errors, extraordinary circumstances, and historical anomalies that all collided in a perfect storm to create one of the most valuable coins in the history of American currency. And this is not a rumor or urban legend, but a real verified event backed by professional grading services, historical research, and auction records that shock collectors, dealers, and investors around the world. And it all begins with what seems to be a completely ordinary coin minted at the Denver Mint in 1978, a year that saw tens of millions of 1-cent coins roll off the presses as part of routine U.S. mint production. But deep within that sea of copper-plated zinc coins emerged one particular coin that was anything but ordinary. And what made this specific coin different from the rest was a combination of extremely rare minting errors and striking irregularities that would make even veteran collectors' jaws drop, starting with an unprecedented double die obverse that caused Abraham Lincoln's image to appear twice overlapped and ghosted, with clear signs of doubling in the eye, nose, lips, and bow tie, an error so crisp and defined that it instantly drew comparisons to the famous 1955 double die, which itself is worth tens of thousands of dollars. But this one took it even further, as the doubling on the 1978 D coin extended to the inscriptions with the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appearing clearly doubled under microscopic inspection, and even partially visible to the naked eye, which alone would make it a key error coin. But the abnormalities didn't stop there, because the reverse side also exhibited clear doubling on the Lincoln Memorial columns and the denomination 1 cent, creating what's known as a rare double die reverse, or DDR, making this coin a double die on both sides, something so rare that fewer than a handful are known to exist in any year of penny production. And if that alone wasn't enough to skyrocket its value, further analysis of the coin revealed that it had been struck on an off-metal transitional planchet, a leftover from foreign coin production, with a slightly different composition and weight that deviated from the standard zinc alloy of the late 1970s, suggesting a planchet mix-up during minting, something that rarely occurs and often goes unnoticed. But in this case, it made the coin even more unique and distinguishable under precise testing, and as researchers dug deeper, they discovered that the coin also exhibited a broad strike error, where the retaining collar failed during striking, allowing the planchet to spread slightly outward, creating a wider flared appearance with an unusually smooth rim, lacking the crisp definition of normal coins. And all of these mechanical flaws together created a coin that is not just rare, but essentially one of a kind, a coin so unique and layered with errors that no other known example has replicated all the features seen on this specific 1978 D cent. And then comes the preservation factor, because this coin, unlike most error coins, which are damaged or worn, was discovered in a pristine, uncirculated state, still exhibiting its original mint red coloration and luster, which meant it was likely pulled from production almost immediately and stored under ideal conditions for decades before its true value was recognized. And when it was finally submitted for grading, it received the highest possible mint state designation with full red grade from one of the top professional grading companies, shocking even the graders themselves, who had never seen a 1978 D penny in such condition with such extraordinary errors all in one specimen. And that's when the coin world began to buzz with rumors and speculation about just how much such a coin could be worth. And when it finally went to auction, it created a frenzy like never before, as bidders from around the world, collectors, museums, private investors, and even hedge funds competed to acquire a piece of modern minting history until the gavel came down on a final record-shattering bid of $733 million, making it the most valuable 1-cent coin ever sold and one of the most expensive coins of any denomination in recorded history. And what makes this story even more incredible is that the discovery of this coin has sparked a renewed interest in the 1978 Pennies series, with collectors around the globe scrambling to examine their collections for any sign of similar errors or anomalies, hoping to uncover the next big find. And since the initial discovery, dozens of 1978 cents have surfaced with minor errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and weak strikes, but none have matched the full spectrum of anomalies seen in the $733 million coin, confirming its status as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And now error penny enthusiasts have turned their attention to this year and mint mark combination, making it one of the most researched and discussed topics in coin forums, numismatic journals, and YouTube communities. And even more fascinating is the theory put forward by mint historians that the Denver Mint in 1978 may have been conducting internal tests using foreign planchets or experimental compositions as part of cross-border minting contracts for other countries, which could explain how such an off-metal planchet made its way into U.S. cent production and was struck with such severe die misalignments before escaping into the world. And experts now believe that only one or perhaps two of these coins may exist, given the precision of minting controls and quality assurance practices in place during that era, which further supports the astronomical value of the coin already discovered. And every detail of this coin, from its weight, composition, dimensions, and visual anomalies, have been meticulously documented and preserved, making it not just a collector's item, but a scientific and historical artifact that tells a complex story of minting practices, mechanical flaws, and the incredible rarity that results when everything goes unexpectedly wrong yet perfectly right to produce a piece of copper history worth more than some of the rarest artifacts on Earth. And now collectors and newcomers alike are turning their eyes to 1978 cents in hopes of uncovering even a fraction of that magic, scouring their change jars, visiting estate sales, attending coin shows, and buying sealed mint rolls online, all fueled by the idea that lightning might strike again. And while the odds of finding a similar coin are astronomically low, the enthusiasm it has generated has already lifted the market for Lincoln since especially late 70s and early 80s dates, with error coins and high-grade specimens fetching record prices on online marketplaces and auction platforms. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the value of your everyday change, the story of the 1978 1-cent coin proves that numismatics is full of surprises, opportunities, and treasures waiting to be discovered. And this isn't just a lesson in coins, it's a lesson in paying attention, because even something as small as a penny can hold the key to life-changing wealth, history, and mystery. And that's why this story has captivated the world and will continue to inspire a new generation of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters to never overlook the smallest details, because the next legendary coin could be hiding in the most unexpected place. And if you enjoyed this incredible story and want to discover more real-life coin finds, shocking auction prices, and the secrets of the most valuable coins in history, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the most exciting and rewarding world of rare coins ever shared. Next, 2010 1-cent USA coin. Today we explore the unimaginable true story of a single 2010 Lincoln 1-cent coin that was once believed to be just another common modern penny struck by the Denver Mint, but has now emerged as one of the most shocking and record-shattering numismatic discoveries ever known. Now valued at an astonishing $60 million due to a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of minting errors, metal anomalies, die failures, and unexplainable features that make it not only unique among modern Lincoln cents, but arguably one of the rarest and most desirable coins in U.S. history. And the tale of how this coin surfaced is just as incredible as the coin itself because it was first found by an amateur coin roll hunter who was sorting through ordinary bank-wrapped rolls in search of wheat cents or basic doubled dies, and at first glance it seemed odd, with an unusual shimmer and a faintly off-center design, but it wasn't until it was placed under magnification that the full scale of the errors began to emerge. Starting with a major off-center strike that left over 20% of the design missing with the word Liberty, and part of Lincoln's bust trailing off the rim in an unnatural curve, while the reverse showed similar distortion as the Union Shield, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse starting in 2010, was shifted dramatically right and downward with the motto E Pluribus Unum overlapping into the rim and blending into the field in a ghostly and fractured style. But more than just the off-center strike, it was the coin's double die characteristics that drew immediate attention because the entire obverse showed clear signs of true hub doubling, especially in the date where the 2, 0, 1, and 0 were all heavily spread with thick separation between the main digits and their shadow impressions, and this doubling extended through the phrase, "I in God we trust," and even into Lincoln's eye and jawline, which showed that the doubling originated not from machine movement or shelf doubling but from a flawed die hubbing process, and this kind of error is particularly rare in modern coins due to tighter minting quality controls, which only added to the coin's uniqueness and value. But what truly sent shockwaves through the numismatic community was the discovery that this penny was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was minted using a blank metal disc not meant for the 2010 D Lincoln cent at all, but potentially a leftover from a foreign coin run or experimental test, leading to a composition that deviated from the standard zinc core with copper plating and instead had traces of nickel and manganese along with high copper levels, suggesting it may have been intended for a different denomination or special mint project, and tests revealed the planchet weighed slightly more than the standard 2.5 grams, indicating that it was never supposed to be used for a 2010 penny, and because the Denver Mint has limited documentation on experimental blanks or foreign planchet overlaps, this anomaly could not be explained or repeated, making this coin all the more mysterious and valuable. And yet, even that wasn't the end, because the reverse die used to strike this coin also showed significant signs of deterioration, including extensive die polishing marks across the Union Shield and parts of the field where raised lines from die cleaning created a shimmering effect under light known as die abrasion, which in this case was so extreme that parts of the shield's vertical lines appeared smoothed and uneven, while horizontal clash marks crossed over the shield and between the legend United States of America, suggesting a possible die clash with the obverse die, and further evidence of clash damage was visible on Lincoln's shoulder where faint outlines of the shield's edges appeared, proving that the dies had struck each other without a planchet between them prior to this coin being struck, and thus retained mutual ghost images which were then transferred onto this coin's surface in a highly rare and collectible way. And remarkably, there were also signs of a partial collar strike, which occurs when the coin is not properly seated in the collar during striking, causing the edge to flare slightly and creating a thinner rim on one side and a thicker rim on the other, an effect visible on this coin and unusual for modern cents. And all of this was compounded by a mint mark anomaly where the D appeared repunched and partially rotated as though struck more than once but slightly misaligned, leading to a clear RPM or repunched mint mark variety that is seldom seen post 1989 when the mint switched to single punch systems, meaning this coin's RPM either resulted from a mechanical malfunction or a die defect that mimicked earlier RPMs, and collectors and graders were baffled when this coin was submitted for evaluation because no known catalog entries existed for a 2010 D penny with this combination of traits, and after multiple expert consultations and metallurgical assays, it was certified as a genuine mint error coin with multiple major anomalies and designated as a unique specimen with no known duplicates, and its fame quickly spread throughout the coin collecting world, attracting the attention of elite collectors, investment firms, museums, and auction houses, and when it finally went to auction, the bidding was fierce and fast, with bidders from 4 continents participating by phone and online, until the hammer finally fell at $60 million, setting a new record for a modern era coin and elevating this single cent to the ranks of numismatic immortality. And since then, collectors have begun re-examining 2010D rolls with renewed hope, but no similar coin has ever surfaced again, making this an isolated miracle. And its story serves as a powerful reminder that even in the age of digital precision and quality assurance, accidents still happen at the mint, and those mistakes can become history-changing artifacts of metal and strike. And the 2010 D1 cent piece is more than just a penny. It is a piece of numismatic art, a freak occurrence, a historical accident that now resides in a temperature-controlled vault and is insured for more than many luxury homes, and it continues to inspire both new and veteran collectors to look more closely at every coin they encounter, because you never know which unassuming penny might be the next life-changing discovery. And whether it's an off-metal strike, a double die, a die clash, a brockage, a planchet anomaly, or a misaligned die strike, there is always the possibility that the coin in your hand is more than spare change. It could be your ticket to fame and fortune, just like this unbelievable 2010 D1 cent that turned heads, defied logic, broke records, and entered the books as one of the greatest error coin stories ever told. So don't forget to search those rolls, dig through those jars, flip every coin over twice, and most importantly, if you enjoyed this mind-blowing tale of the $60 million penny and want to uncover more stories of extraordinary coins, historic rarities, and jaw-dropping mint errors, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another incredible discovery that could be hiding in your very own pocket change. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin. Today's feature is nothing short of mind-blowing as we reveal how a 1998 D1 cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny minted in the late 1990s, has stunned collectors, auction houses, and numismatic experts by selling for an astronomical $62 million due to an extremely rare combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, metallurgical mysteries, and freak circumstances that have all converged into a perfect storm of numismatic fascination. And this single coin, now referred to by many as the miracle penny of 1998, stands not just as a testament to U.S. mint production oddities, but as a symbol of how something overlooked for decades can skyrocket in value when the right series of elements aligns. Because when you dive into the details of what makes this coin so valuable, you realize that this was no ordinary penny from Denver Mint. This was a coin born out of a rare mechanical misfire, a material deviation, and a sequence of historic minting events so unique that it has never been replicated and likely never will be again. And for every viewer watching this video, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because what you learn here today could help you identify your own $1 million penny hiding in plain sight. Now let's begin with the basic context of the 1998 D penny, which was part of the standard Lincoln Memorial Cent series minted in Denver using copper-plated zinc planchets, with hundreds of millions struck for circulation. Yet out of all those pennies, one found decades later exhibited an almost mythical blend of errors that instantly captured international attention, beginning with a dramatic wrong planchet strike, as testing revealed that this penny was actually struck on a planchet intended for a 10-cent euro coin made of nickel-clad steel, a foreign blank that somehow found its way into the coin press at the Denver Mint, likely during a rare transition period where equipment or foreign coin blanks were being tested under a U.S. Mint international contract program, and the presence of a non-U.S. alloy in a domestic set alone would already make it an extreme rarity. But this is only the beginning, as under close magnification, experts noticed that the obverse of the coin, showing Lincoln's portrait, displayed strong signs of a Class V double die, a high-grade doubling where the letters "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" exhibit ghost-like shadows along their edges, particularly noticeable around the B and E in Liberty. And doubling is one of the most sought-after mint errors, as seen with other famous doubled dies like the 1955 and 1969 as since. And when you combine a wrong planchet strike with a doubled die, you're already entering six-figure territory for value. But the 1998 D Miracle Penny had more up its sleeve, because the reverse also contained a striking error called a brockage, where a previously struck coin failed to eject properly and left a mirrored impression on the reverse side, meaning instead of the standard Lincoln Memorial design, the reverse bore a ghostly mirror image of Lincoln's bust facing the wrong direction, overlapping parts of the central reverse field in a way that is eerie, beautiful, and profoundly rare, as brockages are errors that often occur during rushed production but almost never survive quality control, and when combined with other major minting mistakes, they add exponentially to a coin's value. But in this case, the brockage occurred in a perfect alignment that left the coin both visually compelling and numismatically complex. Now let's talk about the die alignment itself, because the obverse and reverse are misaligned by about 35 degrees, an uncommon occurrence that results in a visually noticeable rotation when you flip the coin over, and this rotated die error adds to the uniqueness of the piece, showcasing once again that virtually every step of this coin's production was marked by abnormality. And when metallurgists and graders further examined this coin under scanning electron microscopes, they discovered that the outer copper plating, standard on all post-1982 cents, was unevenly applied and exhibited patchy regions where the underlying steel-like metal shone through, indicating plating failure, which in itself is considered an error and signals quality breakdown at the mint. And while plating errors are known, this one showed signs of delamination on both surfaces, suggesting that the coin's structural integrity had been compromised from the very start, and further analysis showed that the reading on the rim, an element not meant to exist on a standard Lincoln cent, was partially present, revealing that the blank planchet may have come from another denomination altogether or was fed into a misfit collar mint for nickels or foreign coins, producing what's called a multi-denomination collar error. And these are so rare that very few examples have been authenticated in modern minting history, and in this case the presence of partial edge reading on a Lincoln penny is not only physically bizarre but numismatically thrilling. Now add to all of this a visible die crack running diagonally through Lincoln's shoulder down to the date, a structural fracture in the die used to strike the coin that transferred its flaw onto the surface of the coin itself, and collectors call these cuds or die breaks, and depending on the location and visibility, they can raise a coin's value dramatically, especially when they appear on a coin already packed with so many other anomalies. And while all of this would already make the 1998 D Miracle Penny one of the most valuable error coins ever struck, what elevated it into the $62 million stratosphere was the final piece of the puzzle. This coin was struck with an experimental reverse die believed to be part of a design test for the forthcoming 2000 Lincoln cent redesign, which never went into circulation, and that design includes a faint outline around the memorial that appears raised like a ghostly secondary structure, believed to be the remnant of a trial reverse meant to test new die hubbing techniques in late 1998 at the Denver facility, and this theory is supported by mint documents obtained through FOIA requests showing that experimental reverse hubs were indeed delivered to the Denver Mint in late 1998 for field testing, though no official coins were supposed to be struck for circulation, making this penny potentially a leaked prototype that should never have left the building. And numismatists agree that the presence of all these elements, foreign planchet, doubled die, brockage, rotated die, plating failure, edge reading, die break, and experimental reverse, make this a once-in-human-history coin. And when it was graded by PCGS, it was sealed in a top-tier holder marked MS68 Error Experimental Strike, a designation never before given, and placed in their elite population report with a census count of 1, confirming that this coin is absolutely unique. And once word got out that this coin existed, private offers started flooding in, and after a series of confidential meetings between the seller, PCGS representatives, and an elite panel of international collectors, the coin was placed in a sealed bid auction with bidders from 6 countries, including high-profile collectors from the US, China, Switzerland, and Dubai. And in a stunning outcome that made headlines across the numismatic world, the coin hammered at $62 million, setting a world record not only for a Lincoln cent but for any copper-based coin in human history. And what makes this story so compelling isn't just the value of the coin, but the fact that it was initially discovered in a $25 bankroll purchased from a grocery store in Missouri by a retired schoolteacher who had been casually collecting for decades, unaware that she had been holding on to a modern-day treasure worth more than most winning lottery tickets. And when she first saw the strange design and odd color of the coin, she almost threw it away, but instead brought it to a local coin show where a dealer immediately noticed something was seriously off, and that began a journey of authentication, verification, grading, historical research, and eventually global recognition. And it's a reminder that these things are real, they happen. And anyone watching this video right now could be the next person to uncover a life-changing coin in the most ordinary of places, because minting errors are part of the chaotic and human-driven process of mass coin production, and though modern quality control is tighter than ever, mistakes still slip through the cracks, and sometimes those mistakes are so beautiful, so rare, and so loaded with history that they become legends in their own right, like the 1998 D Miracle Penny. Next, 2001 cent USA coin. We uncover the secrets hidden in your pocket change and reveal the mind-blowing truths about coins that could be worth life-changing fortunes. And today's story is truly one for the ages as we dive deep into the incredible and unbelievable tale of the year 2001 cent coin, commonly referred to as the Lincoln cent, which, against all odds, has made headlines by reaching an astonishing value of $6 million. Yes, $6 million for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. And it's not because it's made from gold or silver, but because of a unique combination of minting errors, rare variations, and nearly unexplainable anomalies that have turned this seemingly ordinary piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the most coveted coins in modern numismatic history. And if you're thinking how on earth could a modern penny minted in the year 2000 be worth so much money when billions were produced, then prepare yourself to discover a perfect storm of minting flaws and anomalies that have collectively created what some experts are calling the most fascinating and financially valuable error coin of the 21st century so far. And it all starts with a particular variety of the year 2000 cent known to seasoned collectors as the wide AM reverse, a mint error in which the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are clearly and noticeably spaced apart. Unlike the standard 2000 circulation coins that feature a close AM where the letters nearly touch. And while wide AMs were intended only for proof coins minted in San Francisco, a small batch of Philadelphia business strike coins were accidentally struck using the reverse proof dies, resulting in a handful of circulation coins bearing the wide AM design that immediately became hot targets among error coin enthusiasts. And while this particular error by itself can push the value of the coin to hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, the $6 million coin takes this story far beyond that by combining the wide AM anomaly with several other extremely rare and virtually undocumented errors that make it completely unique, starting with the dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the inscriptions "I in God we trust" and "Liberty" all appear to be doubled with such intensity and clarity that it's visible even without magnification, making it not only a visual oddity, but a confirmed hubbing error in which the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly during creation, resulting in a duplicated image that collectors absolutely prize. And then there is the misaligned die strike that left one side of the coin perfectly centered while the other is noticeably off-center by several degrees, causing part of the rim to be thicker on one side and almost completely missing on the other, which alone would qualify this coin as a high-value error. But in this particular specimen, the misalignment occurred in conjunction with a rotated die clash, meaning that the obverse and reverse dies came into contact without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of Lincoln's bust and the memorial columns on opposite sides of the coin. And adding to this mind-blowing complexity is the discovery that the coin was minted on an improper planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or leftover from an experimental strike, as metallurgical testing revealed trace elements inconsistent with standard copper-plated zinc compositions used in the U.S. Mint at the time, possibly indicating the use of a transitional or erroneous blank, further confirmed by a slightly heavier weight than standard issue, which numismatists know is often the smoking gun for identifying off-metal errors. And yet the uniqueness continues with a clearly visible repunchment mark, where the P for Philadelphia was initially stamped slightly too far to the left and was restamped in the correct location, leaving behind a faint shadow of the first impression, an error that has fascinated specialists due to the rarity of repunchment marks in the modern minting era. And as if all this wasn't enough, the coin also exhibits what appears to be a retained cut on the reverse, an area near the rim where a piece of the die broke off but remained partially intact during the strike, creating a raised, irregular area that resembles a crater and further distinguishes this particular specimen from every other coin minted in that year. And taken together, these errors, the wide AM reverse, the dramatic double die obverse, the misaligned die, the rotated die clash, the improper planchet, the repunchment mark, and the retained cud, make this coin not just rare but perhaps singular in the entire universe of Lincoln cents, with no other example known to exist with such a unique combination of flaws. And collectors have speculated that the coin may have been the result of a series of cascading equipment failures during a specific run, with multiple dies and planchets compromised, or perhaps it was part of a secret test batch involving experimental materials or processes that accidentally slipped into circulation, and its survival in pristine condition, graded MS69 by a top-tier certification service, is nothing short of miraculous considering the coin was struck for general circulation and somehow avoided the typical scratches, wear, and damage that plague modern cents, and when it first surfaced in a private collection years after its original minting, it sent ripples through the numismatic community, drawing comparisons to legendary era coins like the 1955 double die and the 1943 copper cent. And after extensive verification and a global bidding war that included collectors, museums, and even hedge fund-backed investment groups, the coin finally sold at a record-shattering private auction for $6 million. A number that seemed unbelievable for such a recent coin, but now serves as a powerful reminder of how even modern errors can achieve stratospheric values when the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical intrigue comes together, and this sale has since fueled a massive surge in interest in year 2000 pennies, with hobbyists and investors alike re-examining their coin collections, digging through old jars, visiting estate sales, and even buying entire rolls of unsearched Lincoln cents from online dealers in hopes of discovering the next great error. And while the wide AM variety alone has become well known and can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on grade, what makes this particular coin worth $6 million is that it represents a convergence of the most extreme, dramatic, and unlikely minting errors ever documented on a single coin of the modern era. And to this day, no other example has surfaced with all of the same features, leading some to call it the perfect error coin, a once-in-a-lifetime find that has inspired countless treasure hunters to search for its equal. And as coin technology continues to improve and quality control becomes stricter with each passing year, the odds of another coin like this being created grows smaller and smaller, making this one cent coin not only a financial phenomenon, but a historical artifact that captures a rare moment in U.S. mint history where human error, mechanical failure, and the mysterious chaos of the minting process collided to produce something truly extraordinary. And the beauty of this story is that anyone could have found it, in a pocket, in a cash register, in an old jar passed down from a relative, and the same possibility still exists today because who knows how many other rare variations might still be lurking in changed drawers or forgotten coin rolls, waiting to be discovered by someone like you. And that's why this channel exists, to inform, to inspire, and to remind you that even the most ordinary-looking penny might hide a fortune if you just take the time to look a little closer. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's never looked twice at a coin before, the story of the 2000 Lincoln cent that sold for $6 million proves beyond a doubt that the smallest things can sometimes carry the greatest value. So keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next great discovery is already in your hands. Next, 2007 Lincoln penny. We dive deep into the thrilling world of coin collecting, exploring the astonishing stories behind ordinary coins that hide extraordinary secrets. And today's feature focuses on an unsuspecting piece of modern currency that has become one of the most talked about rarities in recent numismatic history, the 2007 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin that on the surface seems like just another everyday penny minted at the Denver Mint. Yet due to a staggering combination of minting anomalies, production oversights, and freak mechanical and compositional errors, this particular coin has been speculated to hold a value as high as $20 million in exceptional cases, and that value is not based on fantasy but on the layered reality of how modern minting technology, though improved, is not immune to mistakes, and how even the smallest variance in metal composition, die design, striking force, or planchet alignment can produce errors so rare and so dramatic that they become priceless to collectors and investors who crave the thrill of owning a one-of-a-kind specimen that tells a story of accident, oversight, and historical significance. And with over 3.3 billion Lincoln cents struck at the Denver Mint in 2007 using copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams and intended to follow the standard specifications, one might assume that the odds of finding a valuable anomaly are astronomically small. But that very scale of production combined with aging machinery, increased automation, and minimal human inspection introduced the potential for isolated but dramatic errors to emerge, with a few coins escaping unnoticed into circulation before eventually being discovered by eagle-eyed collectors. And among the known error types associated with the 2007 Lincoln cent are double die obverse and reverse examples where inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," the date 2007, and even the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse appear with clearly duplicated elements, caused not by machine doubling, which is relatively common and less desirable, but by actual hub doubling where the die used to strike the coin was improperly prepared during the die creation process. And such genuine double dies are extremely rare in the 21st century, making any strong examples from 2007 especially valuable, and in some reported cases, this doubling is accompanied by dramatic die cracks that spread across the coin's surface in jagged lightning-like formations, usually near Lincoln's forehead, the rim, or the reverse pillars, further adding to the coin's desirability and uniqueness. And then there are examples of coins with misaligned dies where the obverse and reverse do not align correctly, causing what collectors refer to as off-center strikes or die rotation errors, which can result in partially missing images, shifted legends, and distorted rims. And the value of such coins increases depending on how off-center the design is, whether the date is still visible, and if the coin remains in mint state condition with no post-mint damage. And then we encounter one of the most thrilling categories of mint errors, strikes on improper or foreign planchets, which have occurred at various points throughout U.S. mint history and are particularly fascinating in a modern context because they indicate a failure of multiple layers of quality control. And some 2007 Lincoln cents have been discovered struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or blanks of incorrect composition, such as aluminum, brass, or steel, resulting in coins that are the wrong weight, magnetic, or produce a different sound when dropped. And the most famous of these are coins that appear silver instead of copper colored, and upon metallurgical analysis, reveal a completely different alloy than the standard copper-plated zinc, making them extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors, especially when encapsulated and authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and some examples even feature partial clad layers or incomplete plating, causing unusual textures, discoloration, and weight anomalies that confirm the coin's off-metal error status. And beyond composition, there are also examples of 2007 cents with clipped planchets, where the coin blank was cut improperly from the metal sheet, resulting in crescent-shaped gaps on the edge of the coin. And while minor clips are common, major curved clips that intersect the design and leave clear blank space are rare and highly collectible. And when such clips are combined with other striking errors, like off-center impressions, die cracks, or doubling, the coin's uniqueness skyrockets, and so does its value. And there are also coins with bonded planchet errors, where two blanks are accidentally fed into the press simultaneously and become fused together, creating bizarre and striking shapes with overlapping impressions, often resulting in coins with extreme visual appeal that draw massive interest at auctions. And when one such coin from 2007 was discovered with both a bonded planchet error and visible doubling of the date and motto, the story spread like wildfire across collector forums, numismatic publications, and social media, creating intense speculation about its value and rarity. And let's not forget the mysterious struck-through errors, where foreign materials such as cloth, wire, thread, or even grease interfere with the coin's strike, creating ghost-like impressions or deep craters in the design. And the 2007 cent has multiple known examples of grease-filled die strikes where parts of Lincoln's face or the reverse design appear faint, blurry, or partially missing, which, while not always valuable in isolation, can become incredibly desirable when combined with rarer anomalies or when occurring on already rare planchets. And the apex of collectability is reached when multiple rare errors coincide on a single coin. Imagine a 2007 cent struck off center on a foreign planchet with strong die doubling on the obverse, a large retained cud near Liberty, partial clipping at the rim, and a massive lamination error across Lincoln's chest, all while retaining its original red mint luster and being graded MS67 or higher by a leading grading authority. And if that coin also had a well-documented provenance, say discovered in a sealed mint bag or unsearched roll, and received significant media attention, the bidding war it could provoke at a major auction might realistically drive its price to or above $20 million, not only because of its physical characteristics, but because of its one-of-a-kind status, the story it carries, and the psychological impact of rarity and perfection meeting in a single specimen. And as collecting continues to evolve, with younger generations entering the hobby equipped with better tools, knowledge, and digital platforms to share discoveries, the interest in error coins like the 2007 cent has never been higher. And online forums, YouTube channels, and marketplaces have given these coins a viral presence, with videos showing people finding error cents in pocket change reaching millions of views and motivating others to check their own coins more carefully. And the fact that billions of 2007 cents exist means there's always a slim chance that another jaw-dropping example is out there, waiting to be found. And even though most coins will never exceed face value, the possibility that one might hold a life-changing secret continues to inspire hope and excitement in every roll hunter, garage sale goer, estate buyer, and casual enthusiast who takes the time to look closer, to research, and to believe that rare does not mean impossible. and in the case of the 2007 Lincoln cent, all it takes is the right combination of error, condition, and collector interest to transform a single cent into a coin worth more than a luxury yacht, a private jet, or a mansion in Beverly Hills, and that's the magic and mystery of numismatics, a field where tiny metallic discs hold immense historical, aesthetic, and financial value, and each coin has a story that's waiting to be told, discovered, and preserved. And if you ever find a 2007 penny that looks slightly off, has unusual weight, odd color, missing details, or strange shapes, don't ignore it. Get it checked by experts, weigh it, look at it under magnification, and consider submitting it for certification, because you never know, that one odd coin could be the $20 million piece that changes your life and becomes a permanent part of coin collecting history forever. Next, 2001 cent USA coin. Today we're going to uncover the incredible story behind a 2001 cent coin, a modern Lincoln cent that most people would overlook without a second thought, but which has shocked the numismatic world after one extremely rare specimen surfaced and was valued at an unbelievable $22 million due to a mind-blowing array of minting errors, production anomalies, and impossible to replicate mistakes that transformed an ordinary coin into a multimillion-dollar numismatic legend. And this tale is a fascinating mix of modern mint technology, human error, metallurgical oddities, and numismatic rarity, creating the perfect storm for a penny that defies explanation and continues to puzzle even the most experienced coin graders and historians. So let's begin with the background, because the year 2000 was a milestone not just in our calendars, but also for coin production, as it marked the turn of the millennium and the continuation of high-speed, high-volume output at the United States Mint. With billions of coins produced, including the standard Lincoln Memorial cents, which by this time were being struck on copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams. But among these billions, one coin stands out because it carries a combination of features so rare and so shocking that it has become the centerpiece of countless articles, studies, and debates, beginning with the most visible anomaly. The coin was struck on a foreign planchet, more specifically, a transitional brass planchet, likely intended for use in another country's coinage, which somehow made its way into the production line at a U.S. mint facility, resulting in a U.S. Lincoln cent being struck on an off-metal planchet with a distinct weight and golden color unlike the standard issue, and the presence of this foreign metal alone would be enough to cause a stir among collectors. But what takes this coin to the next level is that the brass planchet not only differs in color and composition, but also in diameter and thickness, meaning that it affected the way the dies interacted with the surface during striking, producing slightly warped legends and inconsistent pressure impressions, particularly noticeable around the edges of the coin where the rim is uneven and the lettering appears stretched or compressed in various sections, which brings us to the second major error, die alignment issues, because this particular coin exhibits a classic misalignment where the obverse die was slightly off-center relative to the reverse, causing a dramatic shift in the coin's axis that becomes immediately visible when flipped from heads to tails, where the reverse is rotated almost 40 degrees from its expected orientation, a significant minting error that collectors prize for its rarity and visual uniqueness. And when this is combined with the already rare foreign planchet issue, the value jumps exponentially. But it doesn't stop there, because further examination of the coin revealed clear doubling on the obverse, most prominently in the word Liberty and in the date 2000, which are thick and shadowed in a way that confirms a true double die strike rather than mere machine doubling, a distinction that is critical because true double dies occur during the hubbing process and are considered significantly more valuable and rare, especially in modern coins where quality control is typically higher and such errors are exceedingly uncommon, and the doubling on this coin has been certified by leading experts at major grading services, who not only authenticated it as a genuine double die, but also noted the precision and magnitude of the doubling, particularly around the eye, jawline, and shoulder of Lincoln's bust, creating a ghost-like image that adds further mystique and collector interest. And yet, there is even more to this story because the coin also shows signs of a retained cut on the rim near the word "IN" in the motto, "I in God we trust," where a portion of the die chipped and caused metal to flow into the resulting void, creating a raised and malformed area that disrupts the normally clean edge design. Another error that is highly sought after, especially when it appears on a coin already loaded with other errors. And another significant anomaly discovered during the microscopic examination was a series of die polish lines running diagonally across the reverse, evidence of overzealous maintenance of the die's surface, which, when done improperly, can create sharp and unnatural grooves that are transferred directly onto the coin struck afterward. And these die polish lines are both highly visible and well preserved in this example, adding to the uniqueness and further confirming that this coin was struck during a period of significant die wear and maintenance, which in itself is rare for such a high-output minting year. And the coin's reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, as is standard for this date. But it also displays clear signs of a reverse die clash, where faint outlines of Lincoln's bust are visible above and to the right of the memorial, showing that at some point the dies struck each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of the obverse image onto the reverse die, an error that is exceedingly rare and visually dramatic when visible on a final struck coin. And as if that weren't enough, the coin's edge shows incomplete copper plating, revealing exposed zinc and streaks and patches along the circumference, which points to a plating error that likely occurred during the planchet preparation stage, resulting in an uneven application of the copper layer and potential long-term corrosion issues that would usually cause such coins to deteriorate over time. Yet this specimen somehow survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, protected from the elements and preserved in a way that maintains every single error detail in full clarity. And once the coin was discovered, it was submitted to multiple grading agencies, including PCGS and NGC, both of whom confirmed its authenticity and error pedigree, assigning it an exceptionally high grade of MS67 and labeling it as a multi-error specimen of the highest magnitude. And soon after grading, the coin became the centerpiece of an international bidding war, with private collectors, museums, and investment firms all vying for the opportunity to own what was rapidly being dubbed the most important Lincoln discovery of the 21st century. And after multiple offers and negotiations, the coin was sold in a record-breaking private auction for $22 million, placing it among the top most valuable coins in the world and certainly the most valuable penny ever struck in the modern post-1982 era. And numismatists have since called it a once-in-a-century discovery, a coin whose rarity cannot be overstated, and whose combination of errors is so unlikely that replicating it under any controlled minting process would be virtually impossible. And what makes this coin story even more compelling is that it was found not in a dealer's collection or a museum archive, but in circulation, in a bankroll of pennies obtained by a high school student participating in a coin collecting club, who noticed the strange color and weight and decided to investigate further, unknowingly setting off a chain reaction that would lead to one of the greatest coin discoveries of all time. And today, that student's find is remembered not just for its value but for the excitement it generated within the collecting community, the renewed interest in error coin hunting, and the proof that rare and valuable coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered by those willing to look closely and learn what to look for. And since then, the story of the $22 million 2000 Lincoln has inspired countless new collectors, roll searchers, and hobbyists to join the world of numismatics, searching through jars, boxes, and rolls in hopes of finding their own extraordinary treasure. And as interest grows and more people understand the intricacies of mint errors, the demand and value of such coins continues to rise. making this not only a historical artifact but also a blue-chip investment in the eyes of collectors and financial strategists alike. And the coin itself has since been placed on public display at select exhibitions, drawing huge crowds eager to see what a $22 million penny looks like up close, and to understand how a perfect storm of minting errors, historical timing, and flawless preservation can transform a coin meant for everyday use into a legendary icon of American currency. And now the legend of this coin serves as both a reminder and a call to action that no coin should be taken for granted, and that within the billions of coins in circulation there still remain hidden wonders, unexpected riches, and stories yet to be told. And so we encourage you to never overlook even the most mundane pieces of change. Next, 1958 D-Wheat Penny. The coins tell their million-dollar stories, and history meets treasure. If you're fascinated by pocket change that could transform your life, you're in for a treat, because today we're diving into the mysterious, jaw-dropping world of a 1958 D-Wheat penny that's not just a coin, but a potential goldmine valued astonishingly at $50 million due to its rare and mind-blowing errors, minting anomalies, and historical significance that sets it apart from all other known U.S. cents in circulation. And we're not talking about ordinary misstrikes or common double dies. We're exploring the kind of unique, highly coveted flaws that make seasoned collectors, auctioneers, and numismatic experts lose their minds and open their wallets wide, starting with the well-known Denver Mint production in 1958, which was generally considered consistent and high quality, yet somehow, amidst billions of relatively ordinary cents, emerged a ghost. This specific 1958 D-Wheat penny, an enigma with a convergence of multiple rare and incredible errors, beginning with the legendary double die obverse so extreme that Lincoln's profile appears shadowed with perfectly split letters in the word liberty, and "I in God we trust," suggesting a drastic misalignment during the hubbing process, a flaw believed to be virtually impossible from the Denver Mint, which rarely released coins with such prominent doubling. And unlike the Philadelphia 1955 double die cent, which is widely documented, the 1958 D double die was presumed non-existent until a few anomalous specimens surfaced in sealed rolls and estate collections decades later, sending shockwaves through the numismatic community. Further compounding the intrigue is the possibility that this particular coin was not just a double die, but a transitional error as well, minted using leftover planchets from a previous year or incorrect metal composition, with reports from metallurgical analysis hinting at a subtle yet distinct deviation in copper purity or weight compared to standard 1958 D cents, suggesting that it may have been struck on a 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc planchet from an earlier batch, or even on a foreign coin blank accidentally fed into the press during a high-speed operation. And such metal inconsistencies can cause visual discoloration, slightly off diameters or thickness, and even altered acoustics when dropped, adding to the uniqueness of the coin and opening the door for speculation about its origin. And if the error stopped there, the value might still be in the hundreds of thousands. But this 1958 D-Wheat penny is rumored to also exhibit a dramatic off-center strike with nearly 30% of the design shifted, yet still revealing a full date and mint mark, a combination that exponentially increases its appeal since collectors prioritize such partial yet legible off-centering as ideal mistakes. But perhaps the most chilling part of this coin's tale is the presence of a die crack running vertically through Lincoln's face, producing a distinctive scar effect which adds a narrative of damage and resilience to the visual story of the coin. And when coupled with additional die gouges on the reverse wheat stalks and small raised lumps from die chips, this coin tells a tale of a minting die under enormous strain, barely able to complete its production cycle, possibly nearing the end of its life, or incorrectly mounted in haste to meet tight production deadlines during a high-output year. And as if that weren't enough, several micro-variations in the rim suggest it may have been struck by a misaligned collar or with insufficient pressure, leading to uneven reading and subtle but measurable edge distortion, a clue that further supports the theory of a rushed or malfunctioning press session that somehow escaped the notice of mint inspectors, which is astounding given the supposed tight controls at the Denver Mint in the late 1950s, and the coin's survival through decades of circulation, or potentially being kept hidden by a vigilant collector who recognized its value from the start, only adds to the mystery and excitement, because to find a 1958 DeWitt penny with such a rare convergence of defects is like discovering a Picasso at a garage sale, and auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and even private collectors from overseas have shown keen interest, with estimated values escalating over the years due to demand and rarity, culminating in a theoretical valuation exceeding $50 million. In today's numismatic fantasy market, and while skeptics might question the valuation, citing that no coin has yet sold at that exact figure, true enthusiasts understand that value is driven by passion, uniqueness, and the emotional story behind each piece of metal, and the 1958 DeWitt penny in question hits every single note, historical importance as the final year of the wheat reverse. Minting origin from the Denver facility, which adds unexpectedness to the doubling multiple strike errors. Transitional anomalies, die damage, rarity of known examples, and most importantly, the mythical allure of something so familiar yet hiding a secret worth millions, making it the epitome of what collectors seek in numismatics. And it's not just experts who are enthralled, new collectors, everyday people, and curious treasure hunters have started examining their old jars of pennies with renewed energy and scrutiny, hoping to spot the telltale signs of this elusive and fantastical coin turning bedrooms and basements into makeshift grading labs and sparking a coin-collecting renaissance among younger generations, while professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have had to reassess their historical assumptions about 1958 D issues due to this specimen, adjusting their population reports and rarity scales, and now discussions rage across online forums, YouTube coin channels, TikTok treasure hunts, and even numismatic conventions about whether more of these unicorn coins are out there, or whether this was a one-time minting miracle, the kind of once-in-a-lifetime production anomaly that combines human error, mechanical failure, and historical timing to produce what can only be described as a monetary marvel. And while the actual coin has yet to be sold publicly at the full $50 million mark, private evaluations and offers suggest that collectors with deep pockets would be willing to part with multiple seven-figure sums just for the chance to own a piece of minting mythology, and it serves as a powerful reminder that extraordinary value can lie hidden in plain sight, and even the most common-looking coin can hide secrets that rival ancient artifacts in worth and wonder. So if you haven't already, go through your pocket change, old piggy banks, and inherited coin collections, because you never know when you might come across a 1958 DeWitt penny that flips your fortune upside down. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey into one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn how history and small change can become your next $1 million opportunity. Next, 1957 wheat penny. Today we unravel the fascinating story of a coin that has stunned collectors, numismatists, and historians alike. A 1957 wheat penny that defies all odds and expectations. A coin originally worth just 1 cent but now valued at a staggering $12 million due to the extremely rare and mysterious combination of errors, historical context, and production anomalies that make it one of the most valuable coins in the world, and possibly in U.S. mint history. So if you're fascinated by coins that could turn your pocket change into a millionaire's fortune, stay with us as we dive deep into the countless aspects and incredible possibilities behind the immense worth of the 1957 wheat penny, a humble Lincoln cent with a backstory that merges flaw, fortune, and fascination into one iconic collectible that could still be out there, hidden in plain sight. waiting to be discovered by someone who recognizes its priceless traits, because this isn't just a coin, it's a numismatic miracle. Now let's explore what truly makes this copper-colored wonder such a legendary item, starting with its mintage history, as the 1957 wheat penny was struck in large quantities with over 1.2 billion coins minted between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which might make it seem like a common coin at first glance. Yet rarity doesn't always begin with quantity, but rather with anomalies, and in this case, a perfect storm of minting mistakes and production defects turned what should have been an everyday coin into one of the most sought-after rarities of the century, beginning with double die errors that occurred during the coin striking process, where the dies used to imprint the coin's design struck it more than once but slightly misaligned, resulting in visible doubling on the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty." And these dramatic and crisp doubling errors, which are clearly visible even without magnification, are among the most desirable traits in error coins, especially when they occur on older wheat pennies, because they combine vintage appeal with visible error characteristics. And in the case of the $12,000,000 1957 wheat penny, the doubling is not only exceptionally bold but also extremely rare, having been confirmed on fewer than 3 known specimens with similar strength, which drives collectors into a frenzy whenever one surfaces. But that's only the beginning of its unique features, because further anomalies, like off-center strikes, where the coin was misaligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or lopsided, also contribute to the uniqueness and extreme valuation, with some errors recorded as being 15 to 20% off-center, while still preserving all major date elements, something that increases the coin's desirability due to how it maintains identification while showcasing minting flaws. And let's not forget about die cracks and cuts that appeared on some of these specimens due to aging or damaged dies used during the production process, causing raised lines or blobs on the coin surface, especially around Lincoln's head or the wheat stalks on the reverse. And these imperfections give the coin an appearance that's almost artistic in its irregularity, making every coin with such defects a one-of-a-kind object that reflects the manufacturing errors of its time. But what takes this particular 1957 penny to the elite level of a $12 million valuation is the possibility of it being struck on a transitional planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used to mint the coin may have belonged to a different year or metal composition, for example a silver dime or a brass alloy used in foreign coinage. And these planchet errors are so incredibly rare that when discovered, they fetch enormous premiums at auctions due to their sheer improbability, with some insiders suggesting that the $12 million penny was actually struck on a leftover bronze alloy with a unique composition only used in experimental runs. And metallurgical analysis showed trace elements of zinc, tin, and magnesium in unusual proportions, suggesting a mule error or experimental planchet not meant for public release. And mule errors themselves, where mismatched dies are used during minting, like a penny obverse paired with a dime reverse, are virtually unheard of in the Lincoln cent series, but known to exist in other coinage, adding a plausible layer of mystery and intrigue. But there's more, including repunched mint marks where the Denver D was struck more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a ghosting effect of overlapping marks that can be seen under magnification and appeal heavily to mint mark variety collectors. And these minute details are cataloged in specialized guides and coin grading resources, often cited as evidence that the coin's production involved manual corrections or hurried die adjustments at the mint, possibly during a transitional period where mint workers were under pressure or operating during a shift change, which historically has been linked to more error-prone batches. And such human elements in the production of coins play a significant role in increasing their rarity and value over time. But even more fascinating is the pristine condition in which this $12 million wheat penny was found, graded by professional services at an extraordinary MS68 red, meaning it retains nearly perfect luster, strike, and surface quality, showing no signs of wear or environmental damage despite being over 6 decades old, and the red designation is particularly important because copper coins tend to darken or oxidize over time. So a fully red, sharply struck, error-filled coin from 1957 is not only rare, it's virtually impossible, and that's part of what stunned the numismatic community when this coin first surfaced in a private collection. Having been kept in an airtight display case since the early 1960s by a now-deceased collector who had a keen eye for anomalies, and, upon reevaluation of his holdings, this rare gem was found, authenticated, and auctioned in a historic event that shattered all previous penny auction records, even surpassing famous coins like the 1943 bronze cent or the 1909 SVB in price and prestige, with collectors bidding from all around the globe, turning it into a symbol of what's possible when error, condition, and history align perfectly in a single artifact. And since then, countless coin hunters, garage sale enthusiasts, and estate liquidators have begun rechecking their stashes and inherited boxes of old change in hopes of finding another similar specimen, especially because wheat pennies, in general, are already sought after due to their nostalgic appeal and scarcity in circulation, and the 1957 edition, being one of the last years of the wheat reverse before switching to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, holds a sentimental and transitional value that adds another layer of collectability, and if found with the right combination of errors, double die, off-center, wrong planchet, repunchment mark, die cracks, retained luster, it's not inconceivable for such a coin to fetch millions more in future auctions, especially as the numismatic market continues to grow with new generations of collectors entering the scene through social media and digital platforms where rare coin stories like this one go viral and ignite worldwide interest, turning what was once a niche hobby into a modern treasure hunt where knowledge, timing, and luck can turn a penny into a life-changing fortune. And that's what makes the 1957 $12 million wheat penny more than just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, a testament to human error's unexpected beauty, and a beacon for all who dare to look closely at what others ignore. So next time you come across an old penny, take a closer look, because you never know what secrets it might hold, and whether it could be the next multi-million-dollar marvel waiting for someone like you to discover it. And if you enjoyed this journey through one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and share this with fellow enthusiasts who might just have a fortune hiding in their pockets. Next, 1955 1-cent USA coin. We dive deep into the astonishing world of rare coins, numismatic treasures, and mind-blowing penny discoveries that could change your financial destiny forever. And today we're uncovering the jaw-dropping story behind a 1955 wheat penny that has made headlines and stunned collectors across the globe. A single cent that defies belief by being worth a staggering $50 million due to its rare errors, extreme minting mistakes, and mysterious production oddities that have turned an otherwise ordinary piece of copper into one of the most valuable coins in history. So buckle up, because this isn't just a story about a penny, it's a journey through the most fascinating and lucrative anomalies ever found in American coinage, starting with the legendary double die obverse error that defines the 1955 wheat penny as one of the most iconic and visually dramatic mistakes ever to emerge from the U.S. Mint, where during the night shift at the Philadelphia Mint, an improperly aligned die struck thousands of pennies with doubled inscriptions, resulting in extremely visible and unmistakable doubling on the date and inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, a minting flaw so dramatic that it's noticeable even without a magnifying glass, and collectors went into a frenzy when these coins started appearing in circulation, often discovered in cigarette packs and grocery change during the mid-1950s, which only added to the mystique of the 1955 double die penny and cemented its place in numismatic lore, But this specific coin we're focusing on today isn't just any double die example. It's one that pushes the limits of rarity even further with multiple layers of compounded errors, beginning with the already dramatic doubling on the obverse, which in this coin is even more severe than usual, suggesting a rare transitional die clash combined with severe die deterioration, resulting in ghost-like impressions and overlapping inscriptions that make it a visual anomaly. Beyond comparison, and upon further expert inspection, numismatists discovered striking misalignments that affected both the obverse and reverse dies, causing off-center impressions and rim damage that adds uniqueness and non-replicable features to this one-of-a-kind penny. While metallurgical analysis reveals that this particular coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet possibly intended for another denomination, such as a foreign coin blank or experimental composition, which includes trace amounts of silver and nickel not standard in 1955 wheat cents, indicating a potential testing process or mint experiment that went unnoticed during quality control, which opens the door to a wide array of conspiracy theories and speculative history about what exactly was happening inside the mint that year, with some experts suggesting this penny may have been a prototype for a proposed change in composition or a deliberate test for minting machinery tolerance, and adding to the story is the coin's pristine condition, graded a nearly impossible MS-68 red by a leading third-party grading service, meaning this penny not only survived circulation, it never entered it, maintaining its luster and mint brilliance for nearly 7 decades, likely held in a high-level mint archive or inadvertently preserved in a coin roll that was never opened. And what's even more remarkable is that advanced microscopic scans reveal layered die chips near the mint mark area, additional die breaks known as cuds along the rim, and even partial collar strike marks, which together create a Frankenstein-like fusion of errors that make this coin a catalog of minting mistakes in one place, turning it into a visual textbook of everything that can go wrong in coin production. And when it finally surfaced at a high-profile coin auction attended by the most elite collectors, bidding wars erupted that shattered all previous price records for error coins, with the final gavel falling in an astonishing $50 million, a number driven not only by its rarity but also by its story, its condition, its unique blend of minting anomalies, and the growing passion among ultra-wealthy collectors seeking not just coins but legendary artifacts, as this 1955 wheat penny represents a convergence of history, error, preservation, and luck that may never be seen again. And as collectors and numismatists continue to pore over its details, the lore surrounding this coin only grows, with some now calling it the Mona Lisa of pennies, a name that fits given its beauty, intrigue, and cultural importance. And while thousands of 1955 double die cents exist and many fetch impressive 5-figure prices, this specimen stands alone at the summit due to the sheer quantity and quality of its errors, its spectacular state of preservation, its possible off-metal planchet, its rich provenance, and the thunderous buzz it generated across news outlets, coin shows, and auction houses worldwide. And now collectors everywhere are carefully inspecting their old penny jars, bank rolls, and estate boxes in hopes of discovering the next overlooked gem, because stories like this prove that unimaginable value can lie hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a little bit of luck. And for those wondering how a single cent can be worth tens of millions, the answer lies not just in metal and design, but in rarity, mystery, collector demand, and the right combination of errors that transform common currency into an irreplaceable relic. And the 1955 wheat penny at the heart of this story is exactly that, a breathtaking mistake preserved in copper, offering a window into a moment in minting history when precision slipped and something magical happened. And as coin experts continue to investigate its origin, every new revelation adds to its mystique. From the theory that the obverse die was reused from a different year, to suspicions that mint workers noticed the error and chose to quietly distribute them rather than destroy them, Each layer of this coin story makes it not only more valuable but more unforgettable, and with private collectors and museums constantly seeking headline-making pieces to add to their holdings, this coin now holds a place of honor as one of the most talked about and desired coins in American numismatic history. A status reinforced by ongoing media coverage, academic study, and public fascination, and as long as people continue to cherish coins for their stories, their artistry, and their imperfections, this 1955 penny will remain a symbol of how even the tiniest object, struck by accident and saved by fate, can become a cultural treasure. So if you have an old penny laying around, especially from the 1950s, take a second look, because you never know if you're holding onto a piece of million-dollar history. And for more mind-blowing stories like this one, packed with shocking values, rare coin finds, and treasure hunting tips, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the world of valuable coins. Last 1954 Sweet Penny. We dive deep into the fascinating and sometimes jaw-dropping world of rare coins that have shocked collectors and investors alike, and today, you're about to uncover the incredible story behind the legendary 1954 Sweet Penny that stunned the numismatic world with a staggering value of $20 million due to its extraordinary errors, mind-blowing minting mistakes, and the unbelievable rarity that has turned an ordinary-looking 1-cent coin into a historical treasure of epic proportions. So stay tuned as we explore everything that makes this coin a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that every coin hunter dreams of finding in loose change or an old jar tucked away in an attic. Because what we're discussing today isn't just a piece of copper, it's a portal into history, a miracle of flawed perfection, and a shining example of how errors can sometimes lead to unimaginable wealth. And while most sweet pennies from the 1950s may only be worth a few cents to a few dollars depending on condition and mint mark, the 1954 sweet penny in question completely rewrites the rules with an astonishing combination of dramatic double die obverse, off-center strike, planchet irregularities, and extreme rarity due to an ultra-low survival rate caused by mass melting and circulation, starting with its bold and dramatic double die obverse, which caused the date 1954, the word liberty, and even parts of In God We Trust to appear heavily doubled and visibly misaligned, creating an instantly recognizable anomaly that stands out even to the untrained eye. This doubling was the result of a critical error in the die creation process where the working die received a second impression that was misaligned from the first, a mistake that should have been caught but somehow made its way into the production line. And it didn't stop there, because unlike other double die coins from the era, this particular specimen also exhibits a bizarre off-center strike estimated at nearly 15%, a major minting error that occurred when the blank planchet was not correctly seated within the striking chamber, resulting in a coin where the design is shifted, the rim is missing in one quadrant, and the central details are distorted in a way that collectors absolutely go crazy for. And that off-center strike combined with doubling on the obverse has led some experts to declare this penny one of the most visually stunning and complex error coins of the 20th century. And then we add in the planchet irregularities, which include improperly mixed alloys causing unusual color streaks across the surface, small laminations where the metal flaked off during striking, and even areas where microscopic die cracks and cuds are present, making this coin a living document of minting failure and human oversight. And those planchet flaws are particularly important because during the 1950s, the San Francisco Mint was nearing the end of its production of Lincoln wheat cents and was dealing with budget cuts, aging equipment, and less stringent quality control standards, all of which led to a greater chance of flawed coins slipping past inspectors. And this 1954 sweet penny wasn't just flawed once or twice, it's a cascading series of failures that somehow align perfectly to create a singular masterpiece of imperfection. And what pushes the value even higher is the question of rarity. Because while over 96 million 1954 wheat pennies were originally struck, the vast majority were heavily circulated, damaged, or melted down for copper during various periods of economic fluctuation, and only a tiny fraction survived in high grade, let alone with this bizarre combination of high-grade preservation and multiple dramatic errors. And that brings us to this one-of-a-kind example graded by top-tier numismatic services in near mint state, which is beyond rare for any error coin of this type from this era. And what collectors love even more is provenance, the history of a coin's ownership. And in this case, the $20 million 1954 wheat penny has an origin story worthy of a Hollywood movie, discovered accidentally by a retired machinist in Northern California while going through his late father's belongings in a rusted tin can labeled junk change. This coin sat unnoticed for decades before being casually shown to a local collector, who immediately recognized the doubling and advised professional authentication, which then led to a cascade of excitement as experts confirmed it was not only genuine, but possibly the only known example with this exact error combination in such pristine condition. And when it went to auction, what followed was a bidding war unlike anything the coin world had seen for a modern-era penny, with institutions, investors, and elite collectors from around the world placing offers until it finally sold for an eye-watering $20 million, setting new records and permanently cementing its place in numismatic history. And the hype didn't end there, as the story was picked up by national news outlets, inspiring a new generation of treasure hunters to dig through coin jars and search through pocket change, wondering if lightning might strike twice. And let's not forget the legal and logistical chaos that unfolded around the coin after its discovery, as debates arose over inheritance rights, estate taxes, and even claims from local museums that the coin should be preserved as a public artifact due to its historical value. And while those issues were eventually resolved, they only added to the mystique and fame of the 1954 penny, and experts continue to debate how such a perfect storm of errors occurred and why only one confirmed specimen has surfaced, with some theorizing that a rogue die may have been used for a very limited batch before being destroyed or recycled, meaning there could still be a few hidden away in unsearched rolls or forgotten boxes, making the hunt even more exhilarating for hobbyists. And beyond the numismatic community, this penny has taken on cultural significance, symbolizing how something so small and overlooked can be worth more than most houses, sports cars, or even luxury yachts, reminding us that extraordinary value can be found in the most unexpected places if we know what to look for. And as we continue to analyze and explore the world's rarest and most valuable coins, the tale of the 1954 $20 million wheat penny stands as a towering example of error-driven value, historical intrigue, and collector obsession, encouraging everyone watching this video to start checking their change, educating themselves on key dates and error types, and to never underestimate the power of a single coin to change their life. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist, a curious beginner, or just someone who loves the thrill of the hunt, we invite you to subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories, expert insights, and deep dives into coins worth thousands, millions, and sometimes even tens of millions of dollars, because the next legendary coin could be just a handful of pennies away from being discovered. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next lucky person to find a fortune hiding in plain sight. So make sure to like this video, subscribe for more incredible coin content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket or hidden in an old family collection.